Ellen. I can. Can we see you do that? Well, if I can see you do it.
From rules you have to follow on stage to ones that you need to make sure you follow off stage, join me as I reveal to you 10 strict rules Ellen DeGeneres makes her guests follow on her show.
Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video.
10. Be nice or get banned.
Nice to see you.
It's good to see you too. It's been a year, I think, since you've been here, right?
Been a little while,
And
yeah.
a lot has happened.
One of the biggest questions that people might have of watching a show like The Ellen DeGeneres Show is, how do you select which guests to bring on? It's a multifaceted question, to be honest, as there are a lot of factors that go into it. Availability is a big one, a need to be on the show to talk or promote something is another, and of course, whether they're willing to be on the show. Many of these factors have nothing to do with Ellen, but she does have the right to veto a guest since it's her show, and she's done that before based on celebrity antics out in the world. What does that mean? Well, Ellen has had her fair share of controversial people on her show, including Kanye West, Caitlyn Jenner, and more. But she has a core set of beliefs, and if a celebrity violates the principle of those beliefs, she won't bring them on board. A great example of this was Vince Vaughn back in 2011. He was making a movie called The Dilemma, and in it he made homophobic jokes. Bad ones. Ellen is gay, and so she didn't like that at all, so he was banned from the show for some time. This may not seem like a fair rule, but it plays into who Ellen is. She's not going to bring anyone on there that she doesn't think will be compatible with her in one form or another. Which is why Donald Trump won't be on the show either. 9. Come ready to play.
Trick or treat.
One of the reasons that the Ellen DeGeneres Show has been on for so long on daytime TV is that Ellen plays a fun personality. And for many years, her big hook was that she would go and dance with everyone who came onto the show, including the audience members. Eventually, she dropped that because of personal reasons, but that doesn't mean that the show isn't still fun. She still has a ball with her guests, and she's always open to play games with them. Which is why if you're a guest on Ellen's show, you need to be ready to play a game. Sometimes it's a simple game like I have never, and other times it's getting strapped to a lie detector to see whether you're as truthful as you think you are. That's what happened to Simon Cowell, if you're curious. Now, sure, I'm positive there have been celebrities who haven't played games or refused to play games, but the most memorable of guests were the ones who did. I mean, why come on to Ellen just to talk? Why not have fun while you're there? 8. No phones, unless you're taking a selfie.
I apologize for doing it, but I broke your retweet record.
I heard about that.
Okay, this one is really basic, but given the crazy life that these celebrities live, it's fair to note that Ellen doesn't want an interview to be interrupted by something as simple and stupid as a phone going off. Now, it's also true that Ellen isn't done live, and interviews and other segments have been redone so that the celebrity doesn't come off as bad at times, but still, having your cell phone on you as you go and talk to Ellen is somewhat shameful, because that means you're more worried about your phone than the person who's getting ready to interview you. Of course, the exception is when she wants you to take a selfie with the crowd, something that Ellen has of course made famous during her time hosting the Emmys. If you bring your phone to do that, yeah, you're in the clear, but nothing beyond that. 7. Comedy and honesty.
All right, put it in your mouth. That's right. Put it in your mouth and chew on it.
It may not seem like it at times, but it's actually rather hard to do a celebrity interview, especially when that interview takes place in a crowd full of excited people who really want to know more about the celebrity themselves. Ellen, over the years, has gotten better and better at getting to the heart of the matter, but an interview takes two to tango. Which brings us to a dual set of rules: comedy and honesty. In regards to comedy, Ellen wants her guests to be having fun and not being afraid to tell an embarrassing story or tell a joke or even poke fun at Ellen if it's in good taste, etc. The interview isn't meant to be fully serious, so live it up. Now, on the flip side, Ellen also expects her guests to be open and honest with themselves and the audience. They're not here to play a role for them, but rather just be themselves. So the last thing that Ellen wants is for a guest to tell lies or tell them what they think they want to hear. Because that doesn't do any good, and Ellen doesn't like it when people aren't themselves. So be true to yourself and don't be afraid to break out your funny bone. That doesn't sound so bad now, does it? 6. Be nice to Ellen, or else. Ironically, this may seem like a rule that's for on-set stuff, but it's actually not. Not that there haven't been guests who have been brutal to Ellen, but that's for another list. It's actually about the world outside of the show. Sometimes celebrity go to war with one another, and that results in them not doing things with one another that seem logical. For example, Kathy Griffin is a famous comedian, and you would expect her to be on Ellen's show at least once. But she never has been, ever. And that doesn't seem to be changing anytime soon. The two have had a very public feud, even having Griffin note that Ellen has banned her via a book that she wrote. Ellen's response was on point and priceless. I know Griffin had a big thing about wanting to be on the show. She did a whole thing that I banned her from the show. I didn't ban her from the show because first you have to be on the show to be banned. So yeah, if you don't see certain celebrities on the show, it may be for logical reasons. Or it may be that they dissed Ellen and she doesn't want them around. 5. Know your Kardashians.
Oh, I'm sorry I made you wait. My nail broke backstage, so I scotch taped it on. So...
This one is a little tongue-in-cheek, but if you know Ellen, you know that sometimes she'll randomly bring up the Kardashians. And when that happens, you need to be ready with more than, I don't like the family or whatever. She really is a fangirl of the series and the family, and so you need to know at least a little about them in case she surprises you and asks you what you think. Even if it's a tiny morsel, you need to feed it to Ellen to get her to talk about them more or to get her off the topic. It may be random, but hey, we all have our little quirks. Even if it is just fangirling about a certain family that you have indeed met. 4. Know your own social media posts.
keep laughing. And then cry. Now cry. Now cry.
Ellen is the type of host to pull from just about everywhere when it comes to the topic of conversations that she has with her guests. She'll talk about their shows, movies, music, careers, and whatnot, but she's not afraid to go to another level, if that makes sense, to get to know you more. Which means that she'll go to your social media pages, pull down your posts, and have you discuss them in front of the studio audience. So for your sake, you better remember why you posted what you did. She rarely does super embarrassing stuff, but she will go and ask you things about context, why this post mattered to the guest, etc. It's another way of getting closer to the guest, as well as getting the audience to learn more about the celebrity. 3. If you've won an Oscar, you're coming on Ellen.
This movie is so fantastic, and you're nominated for a SAG Award, Golden Globe, and I'm positive you will be nominated, if not win, the Academy Award. So, congratulations.
There are a lot of little traditions that goes on with daytime and late night talk shows, including certain shows have the rights to claim first dibs on certain athletes and celebrities based on the events of previous days. And for Ellen, one thing that she loves to do is talk with people who have just won an Oscar. She's done this with many people over the years, including Leonardo DiCaprio, when he finally won his first acting Oscar for The Revenant. For that interview, the questions are honestly all about the Oscar, including what was it like to win, what were they feeling, what it means to them to have won the Oscar, and so on and so forth. This is one of the more rare, straightforward interviews that Ellen does, but in this case, it's warranted because of the grandeur of the moment. 2. Dress comfortably.
Had I been the one to have induced that, not a good thing. So just keep that in mind next time.
How many times?
If you think about certain daytime or late night shows, you think about how the celebrity guests are almost always in their best attire. A suit, a stunning dress, etc. But for Ellen, she doesn't care about that. Sure, she'll wear a suit herself at times, but she loves the comfortable attire, and she wants that of her guests too. Now, if they want to dress up for the audience or for Ellen, that's great. But when it comes to attire, there is no real dress code outside of be fair and don't push it. So, if you want to wear jeans and a t-shirt, do it. You want to wear a sweater and long pants? Fine. As long as you're comfortable and covered up in the right places, Ellen won't care. 1. Be ready for anything. We've already touched on some of the crazy and wacky stuff that Ellen has done over the years with her guests, like the games, the dancing, and more. But for Ellen, sometimes the comedy and the need to shake things up leads Ellen to get a bit creative in what she does. The biggest thing that Ellen likes to do is jump scares. She'll hide people in the set, and during the interview, they'll randomly pop out to scare someone. Or sometimes she'll actually hide another celebrity on set to scare another because they're friends, such as when Chris Evans scared his fellow MCU cast member Scarlett Johansson one time. With Ellen, expect the unexpected, or get scared as a result. So, what do you think? What do you think of these rules that Ellen DeGeneres has guests of her show follow? Do you think that this is a fair representation of rules that can be expected from daytime talk show guests? Or do you think that these rules are a little too much? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the channel.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.